Yesterday was it was a good day for Republicans. Not the day that they'd exactly hoped for, but it was still a good day for Republicans. And overall, picked up several seats in the House, and were able to flip several House seats. And I think they'll at least have a split in the Senate right now, 50-50. Is kind of what it's looking like right now. So that one kind of surprised me. There was really only one race that kind of surprised me, and that was Oz losing to Fetterman. I really thought that people of Pennsylvania would not really vote for Fetterman, mainly because of his baggage, his history, and everything that way. But I guess there just really wasn't enough of a difference between the candidates. Oz really is not a Republican, but that was kind of a one that I thought might actually swing the other way, and I knew it was going to be close and everything that way. But regardless, the Republicans still picked up several seats in the House, able to flip several key seats, including right here in Iowa, in my district as well. In my district, where Zach Nunn was able to defeat Cindy Axney. It's a big pickup, and it's one that I think you're starting to kind of see. Iowa, used to be a kind of a purple state back in 2012, 2008, 2012, even into like 2016 was still kind of considered a purple state. But the last couple elections has really not been a purple state. It's definitely been a strong majority red state now, and I think this kind of shows kind of the direction that the difference in the parties here. You're starting to see these states, like Iowa, Florida, the same way. Florida, since 2000, since Bush, they've been kind of a purple state. They've been the one that's kind of picked the president, but they're kind of becoming a very strong Republican majority, a strong red state here lately. Iowa, like I said, Iowa's the exact same way. They voted for Obama both times. For that. The state went for Obama both times, but went Trump the last two times, and it's been a strong majority now. But even until this time, they've always had at least one Democrat representative. Axney won in the last election. They had the district. I think it's District 4. I think is the one that's kind of the more contested one. Axney was the representative there, and she just got beat. So now all four representatives and both senators from Iowa are Republican. It is a 100% red state in the national, and then on top of that, also the governor, Kim Reynolds won by a landslide, as did Chuck Grassley. He's the senior most senator. He won pretty handily as well. So it's really showing, kind of what this state actually is. That it's really switching, really becoming a stronghold for the Republican Party. And I think you're seeing more and more of that now. And I think when you really think about why that is, it really does kind of make sense. Because you look from a policy standpoint, who are the ones that are going to be the most likely to understand both sides of the policy issue from which states? It's going to be the ones that are in the purple states, because they're the ones that are seeing these policies from each side, so they know what the Democrat policies are, what the Republican policies are, and they really start to kind of see the difference and the contrast between those two. And we're seeing more and more of those states now, like Iowa, like Florida, that are going pretty strongly red. And I think you're starting to see a few states like Arizona that are, that were strong, pretty strong blue states that are starting to become purple states. So I think you're seeing more and more people, especially after Trump. Trump really showed you what a truly conservative, actually president, I don't know that Trump was really the most conservative person ever, but his policies were very conservative policies. They're very strong conservative policies, and people flourished. The economy flourished. Everything was better. The gas prices were down. The economy was very strong. I believe we had negative inflation even at one point. This was incredible. The GDP. I think it was GDP was 4%. 4% growth. Something that many people said would never happen again. guess what had happened under Trump? So I think people are really seeing that, and I think you're seeing a lot more. Even the blue states are starting to really kind of wake up. And I know they didn't really necessarily get, the strongest. They didn't necessarily get the strongest election results that a lot of people had hoped for, and it kind of was split. But it was still a good day for Republicans. Maybe not exactly the day that they'd wanted, to a T. Not the great day that they'd hoped for, big red wave. But it was definitely a start. And I really think in the next 2 years, between now and the general election in 2024, you're really going to start to see more and more people are really going to start to look at the policies and really start to feel, hey, really look at the policies between the two parties and what they're really wanting. And I think you're going to see a lot more people in the next couple of years starting to convert, switch over between, from, Democrat or, from the left side over to a little more of the right side. And I think a lot of that's because the left has moved so far to the left that there's not room for the average person. The majority of people are, those that used to be in the middle are now on the right because of the the left's policies, the left going that far to the left. So I think you're going to see a lot more, in the next election. I think you'll see a lot more Republicans. You'll see a bigger, a little bit bigger step for Republicans. I think this is a good step for Republicans, and I think it's just going to keep going. I really do. I think it's going to get better, in a couple of years. So didn't get everything that we'd hoped for, but for the Republicans. But I think it was a good step for the country, for the Republicans, and I think that it's something they can build on. So we'll see what happens.